Like, I think there's many women out there, if they just humble themselves just a little bit and understood that they were likely attracting men on their level and were just open to just, not having to get caught up in this whatever fantasy has been fabricated through a mixture of media and television and shows and whatever. And they just touched some grass, went outside and just were dating men in their community. Like, I feel like people would be so much happier and so much more at peace. But if you feel like you're better than the men that you're qualifying for, or if you feel like you're better than the men that are on your level, then it's like, man, you're missing out. I have to remind the ladies, this whole idea that, okay, I don't need a man and I'm gonna be cool and I'm still gonna level up and live this like luxurious, hypergamous, elevated, and I'm gonna be cool and I'm gonna be peaceful and I'm gonna be free from these dusties. The reality is the majority of Black women can't even afford to do that. Let me just be honest. By holding disdain, disrespect, or just overall disgust with Black men, some of y'all are missing out on y'all husbands. I'm being for real. Like, Black women are not better than Black men. There's no reality in which 50% basically of the population is basically degenerate or close to degenerate. And Black women, the other 50% are just leveling up, living up, doing better, overworking, out succeeding, just surpassing Black men on every level. There's no reality in which one side of the sector is completely traumatized and the other sector is just killing on aspects. Like, that's not reality. So unfortunately, distrust has been cultivated between Black men and Black women for a very long time now. And one thing that I've noticed specifically for channels who, speaks to dark-skinned Black women and who has disdain or who shows disdain or just constantly goes out of her way to down talk Black men, the issue is people like her and her followers are literally alienating themselves from the men who are the most likely to date and marry them. Because best believed, ain't no other race of men out there as eager and willing to date, plus size, dark skin, BBW, Black women with 4C hair more so than a Black man. Black men are the most likely to marry dark skin, plus size, women with 4C hair, tiki hair, West African features. Like, Black is Black men. They're the ones who are going to marry y'all. They're the ones who are going to want to commit. They're the ones the most likely to do that. And the thing about it is, y'all act like that's like slavery or something. Like, you gonna get with a Black man, he gonna put you on some plantation, or that you gonna be, beat up all the time, and that you gonna be cheated on. Like, I don't know where all these ideas come from. But I'm saying, like, by doing that, okay, by alienating yourselves from the men who are actually the most likely and the most eager to want to be with y'all, not only y'all missing on your husbands, I actually think that's kind of why some of these ladies are online just mad all the time, because they're sexually frustrated and they're romantically frustrated and they want a man, but they can't get the man they want because the man that they want does not exist. It's some fantasy fairy tale of a dude that is not in existence, or it's some dude that may be way out of their league or may not even be compatible for them. I don't know what it is, but either way, if you're a woman and you spend every other day online complaining about men or talking about how dusty dudes are, then like you're probably sexually frustrated, because women who actually have happy relationships in their life don't go online talking about how mad they are and how dusty men are all the time. They're not doing that. Like, they're going out on dates with the men that they like, enjoying their life. So I'm just saying this real quick because I really feel like it's so dangerous for women to isolate themselves and to continue to alienate themselves from the men who are the most likely to want to be with them. That's the thing about it. There are Black men who want to be with Black women. There are Black men who want to be with dark-skinned women. There are Black men who want to be with dark-skinned, curvaceous, BBW, plus-size women. Like, they would be happy to do that. They would be happy to do that. But if you feel like you're better than the men that you're qualifying for, or if you feel like you're better than the men that are on your level, then it's like, man, you're missing out. See, and here's another thing that I have to remind the ladies, this whole idea that, okay, I don't need a man and I'm going to be cool and I'm still going to level up and live this like luxurious, hypergamous, elevated, good life, and I'm going to be cool and I'm going to be peaceful and I'm going to be free from these dusties. The reality is the majority of Black women can't even afford to do that. Like, you can choose to do that, right? You can choose to live alone, and that's your right, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be like living good, because Black women, Latina women who never marry actually are the most impoverished. They actually end up being the poorest. So I'm not saying that you need to just get with a man just so that your bills can be paid. But what I am saying is that you definitely need to think twice from alienating yourself from men who actually might be compatible for you and you might actually have a happy life with. Like, I think there's many women out there, if they just humble themselves just a little bit and understood that they were likely attracting men on their level, and we're just open to just, not having to get caught up in this whatever fantasy has been fabricated through a mixture of media and television and shows and whatever. And they just toughed some grass, went outside, and just were dating men in their community. Like, I feel like people would be so much happier and so much more at peace. I'm not saying that it would be perfect, because every relationship has its own set of challenges, but being single has its own set of challenges too. And one of them that is getting increasingly more evident is with finances. Single women struggle, and they will continue to struggle if the society continues in the trend that it goes. So I'm saying, not only do I believe that some of y'all are alienating yourselves from your husbands because you think you're better than them, and because you've allowed this sense of disdain to be fostered towards Black men that I think is largely fabricated. On top of that, it's getting to a place in society where women aren't even going to have the luxury to be single comfortably. But most women, that's not their position. Most Black women, that is not their situation. They don't even have the luxury to do that comfortably. So I'm just saying, I think we have to really have to rethink why. Where is this disdain coming from? Where is this automatic sense of distrust? Where is this feeling that Black men just are not on our level? Yeah, there's some Black men that have done some bad things. We all can point to situations personally, anecdotally. Yes, there's some Black women that have done some bad things. We know that. Black women have also done some bad things. So they're also included in that category. And at some point, we have to recognize that ramming our head up against the wall and making us any happier. And I would argue that if you're a woman that's online all the time complaining about men, and you're so triggered by what Black men are choosing and dating, and they're being called featurist, sexualist, you probably just need a relationship, and you're probably sexually frustrated. You gotta in my opinion, get off your high horse. You know what I mean? Find you a man that will love you and be open to him. He don't have to be a superstar. It doesn't have to be all that. Because if you are that, then you would know it. Like, you wouldn't have to question. So I don't understand why ladies be going out of their way to make their lives more difficult than it is. A little bit of humility can go a long way. I think a little bit of humility, even just a tad bit, make it open up a whole lot of peace and a whole lot of happiness if women were willing to be just even a bit self-reflective.
I'm really excited to announce my new kids book, Aisha Learns to Love Her Hair. Aisha's hair is stunning, but she struggles to see its beauty. Through encouragement and wisdom from Grandma Lily, Aisha learns powerful lessons about self-acceptance. Aisha's journey is a heartwarming tale of family, culture, and confidence. Share her magical journey with your little loved one today, available for purchase.